start.
Let's wait till Vaish comes in. Has Vaishnavi joined?
I don't think so.
Let's wait till Vaishnavi comes and then we will stream. Yeah.
What actually there was a command. Then the Imam, the Kanata police asked him to increase the hours. He said, yes, okay.
Teachers who've not muted, I think has to mute.
தயவு செய்து உங்களோட மைக்ஸ் எல்லாம் கொஞ்சம் மியூட் பண்ணிடுங்களே டெய்ஸி உங்க ப்ளீஸ்.
Jayashree, Vaishnavi is having some difficulty logging in. Can you call her and help her? Somebody who can help her with the technicals? Can I send you her number? Jayashree?
Yes, please. I'm on. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I think Vaishnavi is here. Shall we start? Vaishnavi is here. Hi, Vaish. Can you just say hi so that we hear you? There you are. Hi. So, Sanam, I think we can start. Shall we?
Yes, ma'am. We can already
Okay.
send your screen. You can go ahead.
Okay. Gurut Brahma, Gurut Vishnu, Gurut Devo Maheshwara, Gurut Sakshal Parat Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Even our scriptures place teachers above our Creator. And you, my dear teachers, are even more special because you teach God's own children. Dear teachers, I'm overwhelmed at the response to this program. For those of you who do not know me, I'm Divya Reddy, Honorary Secretary of Spastn and also the trustee of Arogya Nilayam Charitable Trust. Arogya Nilayam Charitable Trust is an NGO that believes in holistic health for the community. That is, both mental as well as physical health. This program was conceptualized by both organizations, keeping in mind the special bond a teacher has with their students, especially in the field of special education, where the teacher goes beyond the realm of just teaching and takes on the role of nurturer. And I cannot imagine what a loss of a student can mean to you. I applaud you, dear teachers, for reaching out during this hour of grief. During these tough times, all we hear around us are numbers. Numbers of COVID positive cases, numbers of COVID recoveries, and number of COVID deaths. But what we forget to consider are the people behind the numbers, the stress, the anxiety, their mental health. To address this, we have with us Vaishnavi R, an internationally certified life coach and also my very dear friend. I'm sure she will impact your life positively. Before I hand over to Jayashree, Director of Spastn, I would like to remind you all that we are in this together, and together we will come out stronger. Stay safe and be well. Thank you.
A very warm welcome, Vaishnavi, Mrs. Jayashree.
Thank you, Jayashree. Thank you, Divya.
I'll just take a couple of minutes, Vaishnavi, to just set the context and the canvas of today's session. As Divya mentioned, the number of persons affected with COVID increases, but so is the likelihood that educators, the students, and the families will experience some form of loss. We all know grief and loss are two terms that is often associated with dying or death. But actually, they encompass a lot more than that. You will agree, and you will be telling a lot about it today. I guess loss can be the disconnect that the students face with their classmates. It could also be from their play routines, therapy routines. It could be the celebrations of important national days that they have in a typical school curricula. hands-on learning, that's at one end. My teachers, they also miss a lot of the rich interactions and collegial support that they are looking and they get it from a school system, school culture. The daily structure, the career attainment that they all aspire for, lunchroom banter, working in isolated rooms and doing online remote learning remotely can be very frustrating for my teachers. So, besides missing out the students on a face-to-face, they experience a lot of stress around it. On another level that I thought I want to mention is that both students and educators have experienced the death of a loved one or the loss of some meaningful life events like marriages, be it celebrations or a birth of a child. I missed the birth of my first grandchild, and it can be quite frustrating that you don't get to enjoy those moments that you cherish for life. So in this
Jayashree, you need to unmute your mic, please.
I'm sorry, I don't know at what point I missed you. Okay.
Possibly the last 2 seconds.
Okay, so I guess the meaningful life events people have missed in their lives, just as all of us have. So last year, some of the students were down with COVID, but they bounced back in life. One or two children passed away, which is very unfortunate. But this year has been terrible for us. It's been very intense, and it shakes us both individually as well as the entire community of teachers. The special educators who work not just with the child, as Divya rightly mentioned, but also with the families. So when a mother calls to inform that she has just lost her child, the teacher bears the weight of the burden of the mother's loss and grief on her shoulders. It's very difficult for her. Besides grieving for her own student, it's like a double whammy. So these are teachers who are experiencing a lot of loss around that. So I thought this is a very timely session that you could have with the teachers. We have a lot of people who are joining us from across other institutions too, and I'm sure they're looking forward to your session and to getting some sort of an emotional support. But yeah, death of near and dear ones is a common life experience or common life event, I agree with you. But the pandemic has really pulled the rug under us. So here we are. The stage is yours. You're going to hold our hands and walk us through. Thank you. And thank you once again for being there for all of us.
Thank you, Jayashree. Thank you, Vidya. I would have, to be frank, I would have loved a better circumstance to, address a session. But then, like you all said, pandemic has really changed everybody's life, and even I'm not an exception to it. Being a life coach, I need a lot of help, and I've reached out to a lot of help myself. We have lost a lot of people. We have lost a lot of colleagues, friends, family. It is a very tough time, I understand. And yes, it's an extra burden on the teachers to lead the family of the child as well. So I understand what it is. So I'm not going to spend time on what I do or what I am. I think the purpose is to address the big elephant in front of us, which is, I think, grief for most of us. We have about 44 people here. Yeah. So I would like this to be an interactive session. I don't think anybody's video is on, but you're free to, if you feel like. In case it is very personal, then you can reach out to me later on. I'm telling you upright, the organizers have my number. I'll just address generally what is it that COVID has done to all of us and how is it we can cope, because I don't think the situation is ever going to change in the next few weeks, but we have to be prepared to move forward. That's the word I would like to address. Move forward, because there are people who need us. There are families who need us. Your family needs you. Your society needs you. And for their sake, for your own sake, I think we need to know how to deal with grief. It is not going to leave us, that's the first step, but then we should know how to take it gracefully and move on, I think. I'll try my best to address this. I'll try to give as best as I can to the knowledge that I have acquired and I've observed over the last few sessions, the few tips and the steps you can take to get through this. And like Divya said, I think we are all in this together. So my apologies for being late, and I'm sorry for all of you who have lost a loved one. I wish you all peace and love. So the first thing I would like to tell you all is recognize the fact that you have lost somebody. That is very, very important. Recognize the fact that the person is no more in the life. Accept the fact that you're not going to see this person again. You're not going to be able to talk to this person again. But yes, they are part of our life. Till we breathe, till we live in this world, they are going to be with us, with memories. We are not going to see them again. It's a very harsh truth. It's very hurting to know that. But the first step is to recognize that. Usually what happens is, you have a sense of numbness with you. It's very numb. You don't realize the person has left you. You wake up in the morning as though the person is still there, but then you feel a sense of heaviness. That is a bubble. If you get into that bubble, you should know to get out of it. That is why, during anybody's loss, we are advised to mourn as quickly as possible and get grief and get out of it. That's the ideology behind it. If you're going to be stuck in the bubble, it becomes your defense mechanism where you are telling yourself the person is still with you. Somewhere in some level of your mind, you feel the person is still with you, but that is not the fact. And the more you prolong this, the more you take time to recognize the fact, it's only going to get harder. It's not going to diminish any of your anxiety or depression or anger or guilt or whatever you feel. It is only going to worsen it. So my first thing I tell people is to recognize what it is. If you miss the person, accept it. Yes, you miss the person. The person is no more with you. Tell yourself that there are memories to carry with. And that is all I'm going to live with. A part of you has definitely gone. Nobody is going to change it. No one is immune to death. That's the first thing you need to address. And it is important to acknowledge the pain you're going through. It is very hurting. Pain can come in many ways. You could feel, I think, especially during pandemic, all of us are expressing anger, guilt, I think these are the two things, but it's out of control. We need to know that you can't be angry at something that is away from you, that is beyond your control. But we all know that, like I said, even I've been angry, I've been guilty. So none of us can, this pandemic has really shaken all of us to the core. So you need to know what is the trigger that you have. Is it anger? Is it guilt? These are the two things that I've seen in COVID, basically, but there are other things as well. You feel the void, you feel vulnerable, all that comes later. So acknowledge the fact that you are reacting to a person's loss, but you should also know if you're addressing the loss, if you are recognizing the loss. Are you ready to accept? You've lost someone yesterday, but this morning you wake up with a heavy heart, and there is something happening at the back of the mind, but still you don't want to accept the person has left you. You don't recognize the loss it's created in your life, that void it's created in your life. That is the first step, and trust me, it's the most difficult step. People who have lost, all of us have lost people, not just during pandemic, we have lost even before. We know how it is. So that numbness, that is what is the first step you should recognize. If you feel the numbness, you need help. You need to search what is the trigger and vent it out. Cry out if you can. I always tell people, cry, scream, shout, do what you can, but get out of that bubble as soon as you can. It's not going to. And there's another sense of guilt, especially during COVID. I hear this a lot. When I tell people, get out of this, they consider it very offensive because they think this is an unexpected death. I never expected a child to die. I never expected someone my age to die, my classmate, my friend to die. And if you're asking me to move on or forget it or accept it, I feel guilty because I am here and this person is no more. But please understand, pandemic is something above us, beyond us. We don't have a control. The person is gone, and give them the peace they deserve. Let them move on, and you need to move on because you have bigger things to do in life. You need to know that. So remove that guilt. This COVID has managed to make everybody guilty with just that one sentence. He or she is my age. He or she is my classmate. He or she is younger than me. He or she is just a child. Yes, everything. We have seen it all. We just need to recognize the fact that pandemic is beyond us. Guilt is not going to do anything. It is not going to mitigate any death, any risk here. It is not going to diminish any ratio here. Right? That's the first step. Please accept the numbness and address it. The second one is, you start, once you come out of the numbness, you feel the pain. We all start isolating ourselves. We start sitting and crying in silence, not maybe with others, but in silence. That's the step that we should all be focused upon, as in grieve as much as you can. Be with the pain. Don't try to escape. Don't try to run away from the pain. It is not going to help. Like I said, it's a feeling. It's something inside you. And unless that comes out, you're not going to be free from it. I'm sure you all have heard of people who have lost parents or grandparents or anybody some years back, and they would say, anytime you talk about them, they would start tearing up, welling up. It's not just emotions or the feeling, it's just the fact that they haven't grieved enough. But we are all humans, we cannot grieve 100%. But try your best, because that void is going to be inside you. It is going to be killing you. It's a hard fact, and it hurts. It pains me to say this. Even today morning, I was speaking to somebody, and they said, somebody who's in the front line of COVID, they were saying, these people go, COVID, people leave us. But, the people who are the family, the bereaved, are the ones who are experiencing most pain. It's actually the fact. When I heard it, it hit me hard, and especially because I'm going to talk to you ladies today, it was hitting me very hard. Yes, there are people who have left us, but then they are in a peaceful place. But we are all here, still suffering, still struggling. One hit after another. We are losing at least one or two known faces on a daily basis, even now. And I think a month back the ratio was much bigger. And I can only tell you, teachers, I have no words to appreciate or applaud teachers here who have been doing wonderful service, and to lose a child who's under your care, I don't have the words to express it. It just, I kind of get moved. Right now I'm getting so emotional. But that's the truth. It is going to be there like a huge chunk, and you have to address it. It's going to be very, very tough. And since you all come from a special education fraternity, I think you have families to lead on. You have a responsibility to tell the parents to move on. And if you are not going to be strong enough to do that, if you are not going to go forward, it is going to be, the balance is not going to be there. I hope you understand. There has to be a balance for the entire system to be in sync. And yes, none of us can be in the same plane. Someone has lost someone today, another person lost someone yesterday. It's all going to be up and down. But like I said, we're all in this together, and we need to move forward, and we need to do everything that's possible. So if you are in pain, please address the pain. It can take days, it can take weeks, but address the pain. And the sooner you know it, the sooner you will be out of it. Just denying the fact that, I'm not hurt, I'm strong, I'm not going to cry, I'm strong, it's not going to help you at all. You want to cry in isolation, do it. You want to cry over the phone to your family, friends, relatives, or even to the child's parents, please call and cry. There's no harm. Nobody is going to judge, because you need to take care of yourself first. And pandemic has made it so challenging. You can't even go out and take fresh air when you want, right? All of us have been, within this limitation, and it's really hard. Like I said, being a life coach, I know all the techniques. I know all the procedures, the steps of it, but I have reached out to people. I have sobbed because I couldn't take a particular loss, or I couldn't handle a particular anxiety. It has happened to all of us. So please deal with the pain as soon as you can, in the way you can do it, right? And like I said, you will have all feelings: anger, guilt, despair, loneliness sometimes. Also, you would have your behavior would change. There would be your character and behavior would change. You wouldn't notice it. There would be some kind of a roughness to you, or you would become much soft. You would get a very isolated. You would become an isolated person all of a sudden. There would be some sudden reactions to it. You should know when that happens. Are you getting angry? Are you getting? Are you feeling guilty? Are you in despair? Heartbreak is something I've written down because it's many people feel it. They feel very broken. My heart is broken. I didn't have a closure with this person. My heart is broken. He or she didn't deserve this, all that. So address what it is. The next step, when you know what it is, see where that is coming from. If it's going to be anger, see where is the anger coming from. Is it because you were helpless? You couldn't help the person? Is it because you couldn't be near the person? Or is it because you never had a closure with the person? Is it because the person deserved to live, or you're just angry with the pandemic? What is it? If you're guilty, what is the guilt about? If you're feeling lonely, why are you feeling lonely? Maybe the person meant so much to you. Maybe you have the void inside. After they're gone, you miss them more. What is that feeling you get? You need to address that. You need to address that in a way that you don't have to let go. I'm not the kind to tell you let go of it and move on, but you need to be able to move forward. Those memories, the bitter experience, hurt, it's all going to stay with us. I'm not going to say it is going to leave, because in a regular loss or a death, which happens once in a while, once in few years, when you lose a parent, when you lose a partner, when you lose your grandparents, when you lose a child, whoever it is close to us, a friend, it happens once in a while. But here we are taking the hit almost every day, and it's going to keep reminding you. Yesterday you lost this person, today you're losing, tomorrow when somebody leaves, you're going to recollect everybody. It's not going to. So take one step at a time. This one step at a time is applicable now than ever. I tell you, it is very hard. There are people who tell me I take 2 steps only to hear a bad news and then I fall back. But we are all humans. I don't think we should be worried or embarrassed or angry even with that fact. The point is to address what it is. If you're feeling angry, address it. If you're feeling guilty, address it. If you're feeling lonely, address it. If you feel you are getting into a depression, seek help, because depression is something very serious. I don't have to tell you, ladies, you all know it. Take help. So these are the feelings that you would start getting once you start feeling the pain. Okay, avoiding these feelings again will lead to a lot of unexpected character and behavioral changes. Like I said, you would become something like a child. When a child doesn't know to express, they throw tantrums. Adults are capable of tantrums, but in our own way. We throw with our attitude, with our silence. So don't get into that bubble, then that's another whole cycle. So start addressing it. And always people ask me this question, is it okay to feel angry? Can I stay in anger? Can I stay in guilt? Completely okay. It's definitely okay, because that's the feeling that's inside you. To me, as far as you recognize what it is, I'm happy that you can address it. You want to be angry, please be angry. Just don't take it outside, but be angry, but sort it out. Talk to yourself. See why you're angry. What is causing that anger? It's called trigger. There would be something that's triggering this, like the questions I asked you earlier. Did you feel helpless? Maybe you have that feeling, possibly I could have helped this person and, he would have lived. I didn't have a closure with this person, or probably the last time you both spoke or met was not a very pleasant conversation. So many things can cause anger. So just address it, and you can only do it. Nobody from outside can help you do it. Sort it out. Give peace to yourself. It is definitely okay to be angry, but you have to address it. And the ways to reduce anger is very easy, especially now during pandemic. I feel a lot of people are getting into physical exercises, some form. Could be walking, jogging, skipping, because we're all inside the house. Some skipping. Some people who are allowed to go for a walk, then they take a walk. Physical exercise removes the anger from you. I'm not saying this is a scientific fact, and I found that during COVID. But yes, people who are inside the house, we cannot walk, but do something else that can keep you. I felt even, organizing your wardrobe can reduce your anger, because color has a sense, it calms your mind. Do something that can actually reduce your anger. When you feel angry, that's the only way to bring down anger. Some people do simple things like, recite a mantra or a shloka. That's also nice. Some people start writing, journaling. Journaling is a very good way to put your anger forward. Once you put it all out, it's over. Just write what happens and it's just done. Then you have a sense of calmness. Again, if you tell me if I'm going to walk 20 minutes, will the anger be over? If I write for 2-3 pages a day or 2 days, will the anger be over? No. It's a constant. Like I said, COVID has really thrown us upside down, and every hit we take reminds us of the previous losses that we have had. So keep doing it for a period of time, and this actually helps you in many ways. My specialization is mindfulness, and I always recommend journaling. Always journal your emotions, your thoughts. It helps you in many ways. Okay, so put your anger in it, put your guilt in it. If you're feeling lonely, write a letter to the person who's left you. It's very beautiful. It calms your mind. Like I said, one step at a time, 5 minutes a day takes you, next day is going to be better, the next day is going to be even better, the next day is going to be even better. Within few days, you're going to be completely, okay, back to yourself. It's each of us have a way, each of us have a curve. We all react to pain or anger. Some of them can get out of it quickly. Some of us take a long time to stay in the bubble. Don't compare yourself, especially that you're all working together. You might compare yourself. Don't do that. Each of us have our own curve. You need to go to the peak and then come down to be yourself. So observe yourself. See if you're better than yesterday, then that's a fantastic job you've done. If you're better tomorrow than today, excellent. Take one step at a time. Give 5 minutes to yourself every day. If you feel my anger would just go if someone can rub my feet, ask somebody to rub your feet. Self-care is very important when you're angry, especially during these times, because usually I've noticed in COVID, post-COVID, the anger, we're not able to express. We don't know what we are angry about. Who are we angry with? There's no person, it's just a virus. But where do you show your anger? The only way is to pamper yourself, do something to divert your mind, and walking, jogging, skipping inside your house, getting into some indoor games, getting into your hobbies, anything, could be cooking. Just go and organize your wardrobe. Anything that can divert your mind, put your mind into a different dimension is what you should be focusing on to bring your anger down. Once your anger is gone, you can then deal with the situation in front of you. With anger, it's like I said, the bubble, the defense system, this anger is not going to let you move forward. Again, guilt. When you have guilt, just apply the same formula. If it's going to be guilt, the best form to deal with it is journaling. Write what it is. If you want to ask for forgiveness, please ask. It works. It works. I know many people don't believe in asking forgiveness to someone who's already gone, but trust me, put it in the paper. If you believe that you can be upset after the person is gone, you can also believe that a forgiveness will also work, right? The person is no more, but the forgiveness is going to work. Just write there. What are you guilty about? What are you angry about? If you want forgiveness, write it. If you want a closure, write it. If you miss somebody, write it. It helps you. It helps you sleep better at nights. And journaling, I would recommend do at the end of the day, because whatever happened the entire day, you can just put it in it. You can sleep peacefully. And another thing we have noticed post-COVID is nightmares. All of us have nightmares on a daily basis. Dreams, some very disturbing dreams. Anytime after a loss, we all face this. But COVID, like I said, almost every day we've been having. So probably journaling can help you have that peace of mind, that peaceful sleep. Don't resort to tablets or syrups unnecessarily to get you sleep. Don't reach out externally. It is all within you. Just write something. Make yourself calm your mind. You can sleep peacefully that night. The next day will definitely be better. Most often, what happens when you're also angry, it's not always anger. It could be some other vulnerable feeling. Try to see if it is really anger or any other small thing like an envy. Envy is always there. Don't ask me why, but there's always envy at the person. He's left and gone. There's no need to be envy, but then you still have an envy over the small, judgments you had. all that could be disturbing you. Just get it all out. That's the best way. Journaling is the best way to get it all out. If you can talk to somebody, if you have a friend who you can talk to and pour out all this and the person will not judge you, please reach out to them. Please reach out to them, but make sure the person is not grieving somebody's loss as well. That's important because now this COVID, everybody is grieving somebody, right? You go and tell the other person, it might backfire on you. The person might start judging you, or worst case, the person might put his or her, thoughts to you, anxieties to you, fear, anger, everything to you. So both of you are not going to be benefited. Right? So one of you choose the person who is not in your state of mind, who's in a happy place. Talk to them, ask them, can I seek your help? Reach out, form a support system, every day, make a time, morning or night or afternoon, I'm going to talk to this person and fix a time with her or him. Nobody's going to say no. I think all of us are home and everybody's in this together. Everybody's going to help each other in whatever way we can. So tell them, I had a bad experience, can I call? I have done this, I have done this with my friends. I ping them and I tell them, can I call you? I have something to share. And we share and it's over with that. It's just over. Reach out to people, but make sure they're not grieving, at least not in your level. They're at least a little happier than you, or just about happy. So they can give their time and less of judgment as well. Right? So make sure to reach out to people, and if it is anything else other than anger, try to see what it is, speak about it, get it out. Because the more you have inside, like I said, it's going to prolong your healing process. It's not going to be nice at all. Right? So seek support from the group, seek support from anybody you can, but please make sure the person is not grieving. And one more thing, find someone who's very gentle. Your mother, your siblings, your sisters, these are the people we reach out to when we are really, really upset. Your aunts, your father, somebody who you're very close to. Just reach out to them because they know how vulnerable you are. Some of us can't handle anxiety like the others. One person would be crying and shouting, the other person would be silent. But we can't judge them saying he or she is managing better than them. Only people close to us know what is happening. So reach out to those people, tell them what it is. So they will be gentle on you. Just a tip, because during COVID, everything is chaotic. Everybody is getting angry. Everybody is getting judgmental. So just be cautious who you're reaching out to. Right? That's very important, I wanted to say. And remember, you're not alone. So nobody is going to judge you. Everybody is reaching everybody for help. So have that in mind. There's nothing to be embarrassed about it. There's nothing to think twice about it. The first step you've all done, I'm so happy, is to be in this session. Whether or not I can cover everything in this time we have, I'm not sure. But at least you've reached out to know if something is possible. If after the session you feel a little bit of lightness in your heart, then I think we have all collectively done our job here, fabulous job here. So that is what I'm trying to say. It is a long process and you have to take it one day at a time, one step at a time, right? And again, like I said, grieving is an individual process. Only you can help yourself. I can be there. Anybody can organize sessions. Your friends can come and help you. Your parents can help you. Siblings can help you. But you know better how you deal with it. All of us are adults, right? We know how we've dealt with situations throughout our life. We know what it takes. Go back to your past and see how you've lost somebody and how you dealt with it. Was it the right way? Was it the wrong way? Take points from that, apply it here. That's the only way to move on, because remember, COVID, we are losing everybody quickly. We are losing so many people. It's not like one in 1 month or 1 in 3 months. We are losing known faces on a daily basis. So you have to get out of this quickly to lead the life the next day. You have parents who are depending on you. You have the other children are there. The ones who have left are in a peaceful place, but there are others who don't know what is happening, who don't know. Children don't understand what is happening. Children think that, every generation goes through Corona, COVID. I'm sure you all have experienced it. They all think every generation goes through this. They all think that, COVID is like a vacation for us. They don't understand. But they know there is a fear that parents tell them not to go out. They know that they have lost classmates. They have lost their close friends. They have lost their neighbors. They're also scared. And the only thing children will look to is your face or your voice. That's all they can see. So when you get back, you should be yourself. And right now with the social distancing, I think our limits have really come down. We don't have the reach. You can't go to school, you can't talk to them, you can't see the parents even for a condolence visit. All you can do is call up, message. But understand, this is the best we are doing. This is also a reason why you're getting angry. This is also a reason why you're getting anxious. I'm sure you want to go see the parents of the children who are no more, but you can't because of the lockdown and the other restrictions also. But remember, this is what you can do, and you're doing good for yourself and them. You're being responsible. Please put that thought in your mind whenever you feel guilty of not making a condolence visit. Understand, you are being responsible. That's the only way to address this, right? And I wanted to tell a few things before, because there are points that I wanted to say. I think I've told. Form support groups. If I don't know how many schools are here, because I really didn't get time to talk to Divya much. I don't know how many schools are there. Just form a support group if you can. I'm just throwing an idea here. I know everybody is grieving. But one might be here. Like I said, each one's curve is up and down. Each one has a mechanism to deal with it. But form support groups so you can reach out. I'm feeling anxious today, and somebody can tell you something. I'm feeling very angry today, and somebody can send in a line. We have WhatsApp groups these days. Try to see. But if you feel it is overwhelming, all of us are in the same boat, we don't want to do that, then leave it. It's a bad idea. But if you think you can handle it among yourselves, please form some support groups. I would at least tell each of you to find a support friend, we call it a support friend or support partner during times like this, grieving partner and all that. Find one person you can talk to daily. It's very important to talk. Find somebody who has the time and who's very gentle on you, who will not judge you for what the feelings you're having. People wouldn't understand, but it's again, like I said, pandemic has made everybody different today. There are girls I know who have been extremely bold, but they break down. There are people I thought who wouldn't have it in them, but then they're in the front line. You don't know what anybody is made of till you face them at the ground. So find a support partner who's going to be gentle on you, and ask them, will you listen to me? I would vent out a lot. Take permission. Please do that. That's the first step. And I would strongly urge everybody to meditate. I'm going to give you 2-3 tips on how to handle this, which everybody knows. But the first thing is to meditate. People who are in yoga, meditation will know. People who don't know nothing, just switch on a mantra or a sloka, sit quietly. Focus on the words. Focus on the sound. Your mind will get diverted. And these chants and mantras always bring in some positive energy in you. I'm sure everybody can understand, no matter what religion you are. Just switch on, sit. YouTube has wonderful, forget slokas and mantras. You have ASMR videos. Just go and see. That's the best for anxiety. It's called ASMR videos for anxiety. Nothing. It could be beach waves. It could be ocean waves. It could be droplets of water. It calms your mind. It has a way to calm your mind. It's become extremely popular now, especially after COVID. People are looking into it, turning into it. Switch it on whenever you feel angry or anxious. Switch it on. That's the best way to do it. And journaling, like I said, please do not give up journaling. If you're doing it already well and good, just write more about what you're feeling. But if you're not in that habit, please start writing from tonight. Just, you don't need fancy books and pencils. A small piece of paper would do. Just write your feelings in it. That would make you vent out. It's like talking to somebody, so you vent it out. That's the best way. Get into breathing exercises. If you're, like I said, yoga or something, you already know. If you don't know, just sit quietly and breathe. And all you have to do is observe how your abdomen area rises and falls, your chest area rises and falls, how your nostrils are, which nostril takes in the air and all. These are small things which divert your mind, but then when you finish it, you would have had 5 or 10 minutes of less pain, less anger, less guilt, right? Do that. These are things that you can do for yourself. And if you can go walking, please go out. If you're allowed, I don't know which part of the city or where you're from, but if you're allowed, please go out for walks. Go in the terrace where you can see things around you. Especially now during lockdown, if you just stop by, you would see things you've never observed before. It's so calm, it's so nice. And when you walk, if you take a walk, stop for 2 minutes somewhere in a very silent place. Just stop for 2 minutes. Just look around you. Observe the colors, the shapes, either the tree or the leaf or the flower or the house, the paint of the outside paint color, the smell of the flowers, or smell of, if you're in a park, the greenery, the smell. Use your senses, because the best way to combat your anxiety is using senses, all the 5 senses. You can smell what is there. You can see what is there, what is different. You can feel the breeze, especially if you're in a near the beach, or if you're somewhere in a park. See how you feel the breeze around you. That's the only way to calm your mind. And that night you will sleep really well. And there's no timing for any of this meditation or walking or journaling. Yes, in the night is better, but you can do anytime. Anytime you feel angry, you can start writing. Anytime you feel hurt, guilty, start writing. You can do that. And there's another journal that I would recommend, especially for this group. You can in fact suggest this even to the parents who are still mourning. They're going to take a longer time. Just write a list of 10 blessings in a day. Blessings, I'm not saying millions of rupees or a luxury car or a fantastic jewelry. No, just write even a cup of coffee today is a blessing for us. There are people who are less fortunate today. I'm sure you all agree. Just one message from a friend. We all lighten up if we just get one WhatsApp message from a friend today, because we are not able to see them. We have lost friends, and you're happy for this friend. He or she's still alive, right? That's a blessing. If your mother or father calls you, if your siblings call you, that's another blessing. If your children are going to even lift a finger and do something for you, that's another blessing. Because so many things are happening in lockdown that others don't get to even experience and know more. But today we are here, we're experiencing. Write 10 blessings on a daily basis. Even the session we are having now is going to go in my journal today. It's a blessing for me in many ways. I'm learning so much from what Divya spoke and from what Jayashree spoke. I got a few things in my mind, and it's actually shaken me a lot. This is a blessing for me, and I'm going to put it down in my journal today. So today one blessing is this session. You will have 9 more blessings. Find something and put it in that. Over time, when you do that blessing journal, you will feel your anxiety and anger and guilt, everything leave. Because you're blessed also in so many ways, no? When you have so many blessings, what are you complaining about? You will come to that mindset. I know right now you're all asking me, really? Is it possible? Yes, is it possible? It is possible. I have lost loved ones. I've lost people on a daily basis. Not 1, 2, like 2, 3. I've called friends and howled and cried as well. And today, if I'm going to sit here, it took me some time, one step at a time. I got into a cocoon myself. It took me a couple of days, but then I kind of put my steps together, worked it out. I'm fine now. We are going to face death every day, no? For the next few weeks, COVID is not going to leave us for the next few days. I think we have to agree that as well. We have to recognize that, accept that fact that COVID is here for another few weeks. I'm saying weeks. I really don't want to say months, but that's what the statistics show. Let's accept that fact. Let's see what can be done when we are here. We are all still here. Let's do something about it. So start meditating, start getting into physical exercise, some form, get into walking habit. Habit of walking is very, very good. Your breathing exercises and journaling. One journaling is where you write your blessing. Another is whenever you feel angry, whenever you feel guilt, whenever you have any hurt feeling, just put it into that. Right? So these are the tips. Now I would like to hear from somebody say something. If you have lost a student, how do you feel? How did you handle? I would like to hear from somebody. And you can switch on your video. Anybody?
Spastn teachers. I know we have lost a few children. So anybody who wants to talk, share about those, stay there in the moment and run those moments through with Vaishnavi, that will be great. So please, you're encouraged to share your thoughts.
Remember, there is nothing. Even if you're going to cry, it is okay. It is okay. Let me put it here. Even if you're going to cry, it's fine. We're all in this together. So one of you please share with me what is it. So if there is something I can add to you, I can help you in some way, I would gladly do that. One of you. If it's going to be extremely personal, then I understand. But if you can share it, like you've lost a lot of kids, I believe. How did that what did, or how did you process that, or are you still processing it? What is it that is disturbing you more? Something of that. Or if you know of somebody else who's dealing with that, is also fine, of course, with their permission.
Anuradha,
Yes, ma'am.
is there something you would like to talk? If you feel comfortable, it's entirely your choice.
Can I speak in Tamil?
Yes, I understand. எனக்கு தமிழ் நல்லா புரியுமா? அனுராதா. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, my student he's passed 2 weeks before by COVID, and his அவனுடைய ஃபேமிலியும் ஃபாதர் அண்ட் மதர் 2 பேருமே கோவிட்னால இறந்துட்டாங்க. ஸோ அது அந்த இது கேட்டதுக்கு அப்புறம் எனக்கு ஒரு 2 days எனக்கும் தூக்கம்லாம் இல்லாம ரொம்ப கஷ்டமா இருந்துச்சு. ஸோ அதுக்கப்புறம் அதுல இருந்து வெளியில வரதுக்கு எனக்கு ஒரு 1 week ஆச்சு.
உங்களுக்கு வந்து கஷ்டமா இருந்ததா, இல்ல வேற எதனா ஃபீலிங், கோவம் எதனா இருந்ததா, வேற ஏதாவது இருந்ததா? கஷ்டம்னா நீங்க மிஸ் பண்ணீங்க அவங்கள, கஷ்டமா இருந்தது, இறந்துட்டாங்க, கஷ்டமா இருந்தது. கோவம் ஏதாவது இருந்ததா உங்களுக்கு? கோவம் இல்ல வேற மாதிரி எதனா ஒரு ஃபீலிங் இருந்ததா உங்களுக்கு? நம்ம எதனா பண்ணிருக்கலாமோ அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு குற்ற உணர்ச்சி அந்த மாதிரி ஏதாவது?
திஸ் இஸ் அன்எக்ஸ்பெக்டட். உங்களுக்கு நாங்க எதிர்பார்க்கல மேம். இது சடனா ஒரு 2 daysக்கு அப்புறம் தான் எனக்கு அந்த மெசேஜ் தெரிய வந்துச்சு. சோ அந்த குழந்தைய வந்து நாங்க இழந்துட்டோன்ற அந்த ஒரு கஷ்டம் தான் இருந்துச்சு. அண்ட் தென் அவங்க இன்னும் ஒரு சைல்டு இருக்காங்க. அவங்க அப்பா இல்லாம அவங்க கிராண்ட் பேரண்ட்ஸ் கூட தான் இருக்காங்க.
Okay. See, Anuradha matula, not just for Anuradha, for everybody, this will relapse again. திரும்ப மறுபடி நமக்கு இது இப்போ அனுராதா சொன்ன மாதிரி ஒரு 2 days கொஞ்சம் நான் இதா இருந்தேன் மேம், பட் அதுக்கப்புறம் சரியாயிடுச்சு மேம். திரும்ப ஒரு நாள் அவங்களுக்கு ஹிட் ஆனாலும் ஆகலாம். அனுராதா, திஸ் இஸ் ஃபார் யூ ஆல்சோ. இப்போ நீங்க ஓகேவா இருக்கலாம், பட் திடீர்னு ஒரு நாள் நீங்க ஸ்கூலுக்கு போகும்போது அந்த சைல்டோட மெமரிஸ், அந்த குழந்தையோட மெமரிஸோ ஏதாவது ஒண்ணு உங்களை ட்ரிகர் பண்ணிட்டே இருக்கும். பிகாஸ் அது உங்க லைஃபோட ஒரு பார்ட் இல்லையா? யூ ஷுட் பி ரெடி டு ஃபேஸ் இட். அங்க திரும்ப நீங்க பக்கலானீங்கன்னா இட்ஸ் அ சேம் ப்ராசஸ் அகேன். ஸோ இது வந்து உண்மை. இது திரும்ப நமக்கு வரும். இட் வில் ரிலாப்ஸ். It is not a one-time thing. Like I said, when you have just lost one person in 6 months or some years back, திரும்ப நமக்கு அது ஒரு தாத்தா வந்து ஒரு 10 வருஷத்துக்கு முன்னாடி இருந்தது நமக்கு திரும்ப அப்பப்போ ஒரு ஞாபகம், ஒரு இது வரும். நம்மள கொஞ்சம் அஃபெக்ட் பண்ணும், few seconds, few minutes. இது வந்து நமக்கு இது மாதிரி வந்துட்டு தான் இருக்கும். எஸ்பெஷலி பிகாஸ் கோவிட் வந்து அந்த மாதிரியான ஒரு ரிதம். நிறைய பேர் ஒருத்தர் இறக்கும் போது திரும்ப ஞாபகம் வந்துட்டே இருக்கு. அந்த குழந்தை இல்ல, இந்த குழந்தை இல்ல, இவங்க இல்ல, அந்த அம்மா அப்பா இல்ல, அப்படி வந்துட்டு தான் இருக்கும். இட் வில் ஹிட் யூ அகேன். அக்செப்ட் த ஃபேக்ட். ஒரு தடவை நம்ம முடிச்சுட்டு வெளியில வந்ததுக்கு அப்புறம், லைக் மை எக்ஸாம்பிள், நான் வெளியில வந்துட்டேன். பட் ஐ நோ இஃப் ஐம் கோயிங் டு லூஸ் somebody very close to me again, I will also be affected. I will again reach out for help. நம்ம யாருமே வந்து இதுக்கு எக்ஸெப்ஷன் கிடையாது. we are all there. It's something bigger than us, above us, controlling us. அவ்வளவுதான். So it will come back again. கண்டிப்பா ரிலாக்ஸ் இருக்கும், எதிர்பாருங்க. அதுக்காக பயப்பட சொல்லல. வரும்பொழுது உங்களுக்கு அந்த சைன் தெரியும் போதே அட்ரஸ் பண்ணிடுங்க. ஒரு தடவை நம்ம இதை பார்த்துட்டோம், 2வது தடவை வரும்போதே we should be able to address it. அதுதான் நான் சொல்ல வரேன். Okay, so Anuradha, again for you also, when it happens you should be able to handle it. You know better now. So அது எப்படி ஹேண்டில் பண்ணமோ அப்படி. அந்த ஒரு குழந்தைய நீங்க பார்க்க நேர்ந்ததுன்னா திரும்ப அந்த மெமரிஸ் எல்லாம் வரும். You should be prepared for that as well. Okay,
Thank you so much, ma'am.
my pleasure.
Vaishnavi, I just want to share something.
Yes, Jayashree.
Usually normal routine matters, the principals of the various schools we share on the WhatsApp. சில சமயத்துல ஏதாவது ஒரு ஸ்கூல் பிரின்சிபல் என்ன சடனா போன் பண்ணா எனக்கு அறியாமே ஹார்ட் பீட் இன்க்ரீஸ் ஆகும். எதுக்கு போன் பண்றா, ஏன்னா what is it, what writing என்ன, what is he going to, ஏதோ குழந்தைக்கு ஏதாவது ஆச்சான் இந்த மாதிரி you experience a slight increase in the heartbeat, some palpitation that experience physiological. So normal routine matters WhatsApp group the discourse but if some school principal is calling, they will usually start with "Onumilla madam," often they will share the information. That sense of danger, இது எதுக்கு ஃபோன் பண்றான்னு அந்த ஒரு பயம் அந்த ஒரு you realize what I'm saying. Slight
No. All of us are facing it, Jayashree. One phone call in the middle of the night or early morning or from some unexpected source. If a person is suddenly going to call, your mind knows what the call is. அவங்க சொல்றதுக்கு முன்னாடி நமக்கு தெரிஞ்சிருது. If you one thing, ரொம்ப நீங்க ஆங்ஸைட்டில இருக்கிறீங்க, ரொம்ப நீங்க வந்து நிறைய டே ஆஃப்டர் டே இந்த மாதிரி கால்ஸ் வருதுன்னா, ப்ளீஸ் அவாய்ட். Tell them that you will not be attending calls for the next 2 days because this anxiety will trigger something else. Panic attack madri maridum. Okay, and I'm not scaring you, I'm telling you upfront. If you can't deal it, உங்களுக்கு அந்த கால் வரும்போதே ஒரு படப்படப்பு, ஒரு பயம், ஒரு கையிலலாம் ஸ்வெட் ஆகும், and you start feeling heat here, அந்த மாதிரிலாம் நடந்துச்சுன்னா, please tell whoever it is, என்ன பொசிஷனா இருந்தாலும், just tell them இன்னைக்கு ஒரு நாள் எனக்கு கால்ஸ் வேண்டாம், வேற யாருக்காவது பண்ணிக்கோங்கன்னு சொல்லி ஹேண்டில் பண்ணிடுங்க. That one day will give you time to recoup yourself, rejuvenate, come back. Because மைண்டால ஒரு அளவு தான் ஆங்ஸைட்டி எடுத்துக்க முடியும். Everything is within control. Everything is controlled here. And while you are still in control, know how to take care of yourself. நமக்கு அது தெரியும் போதே சொல்லிடுங்க, ஹெல்ப் வேணும் எனக்கு, நீங்க இன்னைக்கு ஒரு நாள் பாத்துக்கோங்க, நான் பாத்துக்கிறேன் அப்படின்னு. பிகாஸ் சாதாரணமாவே நைட்லயோ ஏர்லி மார்னிங்கோ இல்ல ஏதோ ஒரு இடத்துல இருந்து நமக்கு ஒரு ஃபோன் கால் வருதுனாலே நமக்கு we have a sense that we have lost somebody. இப்போ கோவிட் டைம்ல there's also another thing, ஜெயஸ்ரீ சொன்ன மாதிரி ஆப்போசிட்டும் இருக்கு. நம்ம மெசேஜ் போட்டு ஒருத்தர் ரிப்ளை பண்ணலன்னா we get anxious. ஏன் இவங்க ரிப்ளை பண்ண மாட்டாங்க, 2 நாள் ஆச்சு, வாட் ஹேப்பன்ட்? அதுவும் நடந்திருக்கு. ஐம் ஷுவர் உங்க எல்லாருக்கும் அது கூட நடந்திருக்கும். ஒரு பேரண்ட்டுக்கோ ஒரு கிட்டுக்கோ இதெல்லாம் நீங்க கேட்டு, இல்ல ஒரு வாட்ஸ்அப் குரூப்லயோ நம்ம எல்லாம் பேசும்போது ஒருத்தவங்க மட்டும் பேசலன்னா ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்கா மைண்ட் அவங்க கிட்டதான் போகும். என்ன ஆச்சு, அவங்க அதே ஓகே, என்ன ஆச்சு, இருக்காங்களா, என்ன, திஸ் இஸ் ஹவு த மைண்ட் கோஸ். ஸோ கொஞ்சம் நீங்க தயவு செய்து அந்த ஒரு 1 day பிரேக் எடுத்துக்கோங்க. ஈவன் டு ஜெயஸ்ரீ, யூ ஆர் ஓகே, யூஆர் அப்சல்யூட்லி instead of, I'll put it this way, you can take a break for yourself because self-care is important. You can take that 1 day break saying, I cannot handle it today, நாளைக்கு எடுத்துக்கிறேன். Because இந்த anxiety நாளைக்கு வேற மாதிரி மாறிடும். Don't let that trigger control you. Don't let your mind play that trick on you. அது ஒரு நல்ல காலா கூட இருக்கும், இல்ல வேற மாதிரி காலா கூட இருக்கும், but don't allow your mind to predict before the call comes. அந்த படப்படப்பு வரும்போதே take control yourself. அது வந்து ரொம்ப முக்கியம். I'm telling that. And avoid watching media, please. சோஷியல் மீடியா, டிவி, திரும்ப கோவிட் நியூஸ பாக்குறத நிறுத்திடுங்க. ஐ திங்க் நமக்கு கிடைக்க வேண்டிய நியூஸ் எல்லாம் வாட்ஸ்அப்ல வருது. லாக்டவுன், தட்ஸ் இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். எலெக்ஷன் கேம்பெயின் நடந்தப்ப எலெக்ஷன் ரிசல்ட்ஸ் எல்லாம் கூட வந்தது. அவாய்ட் மீடியா ஃபார் சம் டைம் பிகாஸ் அன்பார்ச்சுனேட்லி மீடியா வந்து நம்மளையும் மீறி நமக்கு மேல போய் இட்ஸ் கண்ட்ரோலிங் அஸ். இட் ஸ்டார்ட்ஸ் டு ஒர்க் வித் அவர் மைண்ட். மோஸ்ட் ஆஃப் தி ஆங்ஸைட்டி கம்ஸ் ஃப்ரம் மீடியா and then from the mainstream media and then from social media. So avoid it. If you can't handle it, avoid it. And Jayashree, again for this this anxious phone calls and everything, it's okay to leave that call that time. Just leave it and you let it go, and then you call up after 2 minutes. You will feel better. It's not like you're avoiding the call. எடுக்க வேண்டாம். அந்த படப்படப்பு இருக்கும்போது don't take it, leave it, ignore the call. You make a call after few seconds. No harm, you're still calling the person. No, within few seconds or 2 minutes you're calling. Tappa nenikka matta. You make a call, you will feel better. I always tell that to people. And the padappadappan varumbodhu phone apdiye vachidunga. It's the call that is making you panic, and the ring that is making you panic, nothing else. Understand that it's not the person, it's not the message that might come, it's the ring itself that is working on your mind. Let the ring go completely. You wait for a few seconds, you call the person back, and the pakka whatever news it is, you will handle it better. It is only the ring. Don't give that ring the pleasure of turning you into an anxious person or a panic person. Ignore the call, make a call after 2 minutes, you will handle the call better. So do that. And avoid media. I wanted to tell this also, avoid media.
Well taken. Yes, I'm aware of this physiological markers. mild palpitation. But a good idea is to, for the time being, avoid the call for a minute or two and then
Yes.
kind of set you up. But the thing is, what is it? At the end of phone, it's the typical Skinner's இது மாதிரி தான். அந்த phone எடுக்கலன்னா your consonant and dissonance component ஆயிடுது.
It's again a trigger only, Jayashree. Like I said, the ring itself is a trigger, nothing else. It's not the news, it's not the person, it's nothing else. It's not even the time, it's the ring itself that makes you anxious, especially nowadays. So leave it. Unfortunately, for people like you, you have to be, you have to be with the phone always. There are people who don't have to play, major roles. அவங்க அந்த ஒரு நாளைக்கு கூட அவாய்ட் பண்ணிக்கலாம். They can take a break. But for people like Jayashree or anybody who's always, with phone, you are in a responsible position, in a higher position. Phone might be required. You might have to take calls. அந்த மாதிரி சமயத்துல ignore the ring, let it go, see the ring, அதை பாருங்க, அதை நிறுத்தினதுக்கு அப்புறம் 2 minutes கழிச்சு கால் பண்ணுங்க. But if you have the liberty to ignore the call or pass on that call to somebody, please, ஒரு நாள் நீங்க எடுத்துக்கிறது தப்பே கிடையாது. No one is going to mind that. You can just say, today I'm not going to take a call. Can you handle everything or pass it to somebody else? உங்களுக்காக நீங்க பண்றது, it's nothing wrong. Everybody is doing it now for COVID. நம்ம நல்லா இருந்தா தான் நம்மளால மத்தவங்களுக்கு ஹெல்ப் பண்ண முடியும். So take care of yourself before you reach out. And you're all in a very sensitive, I would say stage or sensitive society. You have children under you. They're going to look at your face, they're going to see the changes in you. Whenever they can see you, I don't know if you are able to see them now, if it's allowed during lockdown, but whenever you see them, they're going to see your face. And children adu romba maathu adu. It's a big thing. Children having anxiety these days is growing also, so don't take it to that level. குழந்தைங்களுக்கு முன்னாடியே நீங்க சரியாகிட்டு அவங்க கிட்ட போங்க. That's my sincere advice and my request also, because treating children is, you all know better than me, it's very 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 difficult. Once they get into that anxious mode, it's very difficult. என்னன்னே புரியாத ஒரு வயசு. They don't understand COVID, we don't understand COVID. So take care of yourself, whatever you can to take care of yourself, and then move forward. But I'm again telling you, I'm not telling you to let go. மறக்க சொல்லல, விட சொல்லல, முன்னாடி போங்கன்னு தான் சொல்றேன். Move forward. அதுக்கு ஒரு டிஃபரன்ஸ் இருக்கு. I'm not telling you to forget anything. Just move forward. Whatever happened. It's a part of our life. We have to live with that. Correct? Yes. Anybody else wants? Thank you, Jayashree. Anybody else wants to share anything? We do have some more time. யாராவது எப்படி நீங்க உங்களுக்கு அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு லாஸ் வந்து how did you handle it, அந்த மாதிரி யாராவது இருக்கீங்களா? I would really want to know, because நீங்க சொல்ற பாயிண்ட் எனக்கு ஹெல்ப் பண்ணும். I might pass it to somebody else and others might also benefit here. Anybody?
This is Krishna. I would like to share my personal feeling. I lost my uncle because of this. Actually, at that time, hospital was a major issue. We didn't get ventilator facility hospital, and because of that, within 15 minutes we lost it. Within 36 hours only, just before 36 hours, he got positive COVID. Then after that, everything happened, and I felt very sad. Why is it because of this thing we lost him? If at all, if we get hospitals or any other facilities, we may have him with us. In that way, I felt very bad. And immediately after that, me and my family got affected with this COVID, and each and every minute was like a nightmare for me. And those 15 days was like really hectic for me. For even a single dot made me like, ayyo, enakku edada aidumo, my husbandku edada aidumo, like that I felt. And it was very difficult for me even now to think about that. Idhe madri death, so as ma'am said, on the palpitation feeling, all those things, neenga solra madri the phone edutale, even now I'm feeling. And it is very very difficult for me to counsel my parents or anybody, like my students or anybody. It is like நார்மலா நம்ம பேசுற மாதிரியே பேச முடியறது இல்ல. எப்படி, how to pacify them, how to counsel them. Can you please tell us எப்படி வந்து அதை overcome பண்ண சொல்லி தரலாம்? As you said, I can ask them to write journals and all those best எல்லாம் பண்ணினாலும் சிம்பிள் திங்ல குழந்தைங்க எழுந்த பேரண்ட்க்கு என்ன சொல்லி தரலாம் மேம்? ஈவன் இன் மை கிளாஸ் ஆல்சோ மை ஸ்டூடெண்ட் அண்ட் என்ன சொல்லலாம் அவ அம்மா கிட்ட? எப்படி பாசிபிள் அவனுக்கு எப்படி ஆறுதல் சொல்லலாம்?
See, journaling எல்லாம் வந்து உடனே எல்லாம் பண்ண மாட்டாங்க. Vidya, right? Your name is Vidya, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Especially when you're talking about your personal experience, if you want to tell your parents suggestion, journaling and all will not be the ideal step. They wouldn't even want to, because journaling is for somebody who is willing to address it. I don't know if your parents are even in that bubble now. You know, probably they are still in the fear இருக்கும். ஏன்னா நீங்கெல்லாம் வந்து you've gone into COVID and come back, so the fear is there. Like what you said, you know, I had that fear, if எனக்கும் எதுனா ஆயிடுமோ என்ன ஆகும் அப்படின்னு ஒரு பயம் இருந்தது. That fear is there. You need to come out of the fear first. Journaling is a little later, but first you should ask them to get into some sort of a physical movement. Konjam fresh air irukra mari. I know they can't go out much. If the house has terrace, probably they can go to that terrace for some time. Probably they can do that. Elena, you can just fix them up with somebody who can talk to them on a daily basis and ask them how you're doing. I advise that to many senior citizens. You know, I tell them find somebody to talk, not necessarily family, because family வந்து எல்லாருமே you've all gone through that. நீங்க எல்லாருமே ஒரே ஃபேஸ்ல தான் இருந்திருப்பீங்க. Though you know one is up and one is down. Don't do that. Reach out for a third person. ஒரு family friend இருக்கலாம். Maybe your dad's colleague, maybe your mother's colleague or friend, or some relative, cousin to them. அந்த மாதிரி யாராவது ஒருத்தவங்க who they are very comfortable with. Those kind of people, please encourage them to talk to them on a daily basis. They need to know that they're out of the danger. And the hospital, that you know, that fear is there. They've come out now. They should feel that, you know, we are out of the danger. What has happened with COVID people is even after COVID is gone and you're tested negative, that fear is still in you. That fear. நான் போயிட்டு வந்தேன், எனக்கு அப்படி இருந்தது, இன்னும் பயமா இருக்கு, எனக்கு எப்படி நடந்துச்சுன்னு, all that is still fear. You should come out of it to get normal. So the only way to do that is to talk to somebody who has not seen this at all. That would be the ideal choice, or who's already seen it and who's actually moved on and is very happy and at peace. Who doesn't have fear, who doesn't have anxiety, who has done it. அந்த மாதிரியான ஒரு ஆள், if possible, make, you know, since as a family you can form a support group also. But again, don't do it if everybody is vulnerable. It will backfire on everybody. ஒருத்தருக்கு கோவம் வரும், ஒருத்தருக்கு anxiety வரும், you will start getting judgment and it will become very chaotic. But you can have a group, check on each other and say, you know, if you have done something different, like you've come for the session, you can tell them that, you know, I went for this session after a long time. There are just one example. This morning I spoke to a couple of people and one of them was so happy that she could finally go out today and, you know, to the market and come back. She said that one message in that family group made everybody excited. So it's these are small things, you know. I went to the market and came, everybody's question turned towards market at Girka. How's the market? What did you get? How did you go? Talking about life that we have lost, no more than a year, we have not seen this kind of a life. We have all been leading a very different, uncertain life. We don't know when we are going to go out, when we are going to visit our local vendors. We don't know all that. But this girl's message made them. So you can form a group, but don't share your fears or anxieties in it. Share what you're doing on a daily basis. You can say, don't say you went for a COVID grief session at all. Just say, I was in a call, a Google Meet. It was nice. I spoke to my colleagues today. Those are the positive things that will give them more hope that, you know, we have returned back to life. That will make them understand the reality. Today we are out from hospital. We are doing good. We are hale and healthy. We are back to normal. That is where you should guide them. This is what journaling and all for parents will take a long time with you. Not for them, they might, but if they are interested, they can do that. Probably they can tell you, you know, if you ask them what are your 10 blessings, they won't resonate the way you do, but you can talk to them. It's a good thing. If people do it, fine for them. Otherwise, meditation everybody can do. Physical exercise I find is very good with people beyond 50, so ask them to do that. That's the best way. And coming to your question, how will I talk to parents of the children who, you know, when I return back to life, you were saying, you know, parents who have already lost children, how do I talk? You can be sorry for them, but please don't put your anxiety over them. That's the first thing. It will happen without your own knowledge. You know, somewhere in your conscience it's there and it would just hit them. You might feel guilty. You might say something like, I wish I was there with you. I wish I had more time with them. Just control that, because today what is happening is nobody is even able to pay a condolence.
Exactly.
Sanam, all okay?
Ma'am, actually, Vaishnavi, the speaker's video is paused.
Okay.
I think her connection is poor.
Okay. Okay.
Let's wait for 5 minutes and then
Sure.
I'm sure
She's
she'll
joined
come back.
again, ma'am.
Bye, you're back.
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm back. I can hear you.
We can see you.
Yeah. Can you all hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I'm back. Can you all hear me? I had a problem with my power.
Yes, ma'am. Now we can. No.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. We can.
You can hear me. So I think I was talking to Vidya, right? I hope she's still here.
Yes,
So Vidya, don't put your anxiety on the parents. Don't put your anxiety on the parents, but you can always tell them to accept the fact whatever I taught you is applicable even for them. They need to realize this. It is going to be very, very hard. Losing a child is not a thing that anybody can understand. Even another parent can't understand. But whatever I've told you, you can start telling them. But please be gentle with them. Somewhere they are slightly more affected by this child's loss than you are, right? So remember that when you do that, and then guide them accordingly. So just be gentle with them, and then if they need help, you can. But if they don't need help, don't push something on them. Just be normal. Face them all. You should be your regular self. So you have to be prepared for that.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Anything else, Vidya? I think I answered both your questions.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, there was somebody else who wanted to talk when Vidya asked.
Yeah, I am that person.
Who was that?
Actually, I want to share some.
I forgot the name. Somebody else actually said they wanted to talk. Her name started with R, if I'm right. If you're still there, you can.
It is not. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, we can hear you.
Ma'am, actually, I want to share some happy moments after that school reopens. Actually, நான் வந்து 2 to 5 years children handle பண்றேன். லாஸ்ட் வீக் வந்து ஸ்கூல் ஸ்டார்ட் ஆச்சு. ஸ்டார்ட் ஆனே குழந்தைங்களுக்குலாம் அசஸ்மெண்ட் பண்ணோம். குழந்தைங்க ரெடியா இல்லை. they are unable to do that. ஏன்னா because they are long leave. This week today நான் வந்து 3 children வீடியோ கால்ல பார்த்தப்ப அவங்களுக்கு they have started doing the goals and their mother is also happy and I am also very happy today because they are able to do, they are back to their what we say
routine, right.
They are started doing that. They are also recognizing me through video.
Right.
They are smiling at me. So that is the happy moments I want to share.
Thank you so much, Radha. I think all of us need such happy stories.
Yeah.
Radha, today you're going to write your journal, so you're going to put it in that. So you have one is this session, second is the video call you had. So you have 2 blessings already in a big way.
Yes.
And I'm sure you have plenty, another 50, 60 blessings. I'm sure you had
Yes,
lunch,
ma'am.
food, coffee, shelter, clothing, everything. So add everything to it. I am so happy to hear that because, I know it must be very, very exciting for you to see students
Yes,
after a
ma'am.
long time, even if it's over video. I think it's wonderful, and the age you're working with is very, very sensitive, 2 to 5.
Also, they are able to identify me through video call. First, they are refused to see the video itself. They refuse to see my face in the video because they are not able to recognize me.
Recognize
But
you.
this week they can able to. Mother is telling that my missus in front of you, and they are also using very small phone now. The child, it will take time for me children to identify me through video.
Right.
But today is a happy day for me.
I'm clapping for you, Radha. I'm so happy for you because you made me smile. I can visualize. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Anybody, any happy stories also fine. I think now we all know how to deal with grief. Some happy stories of what children, something, just to close it. I want to have some happy moments before we close. Anybody?
தமிழ்ல கூட பேசலாமா?
No, தமிழ்
அழகா தமிழ் பேசுறாங்க வைஷ்ணவி. சோ ஆங்கிலம் நம்மளோட இது கிடையாது, தமிழ் தான் நம்மளோட நார்மல் லாங்குவேஜ். சோ தயவு செய்து கூச்சப்படாம கேளுங்க. ஒரு நல்ல ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி, நம்ம எல்லாருமே சேர்ந்து ஒருத்தர் ஸ்ட்ரென்த் எடுத்துக்கலாம்.
சொன்னது எதனா புரியலன்னா கூட தமிழ்ல சொல்லுங்கன்னா ப்ளீஸ் இப்போ கேட்டுடுங்க, நான் சொல்லிடுறேன். பிகாஸ் நான் நிறைய இங்கிலீஷ்ல பேசினேன். அதுல சிலது எனக்கு புரியல, இந்த இடம் புரியல, அந்த இடம் புரியலன்னா எனக்கு கேளுங்க. we have time now, ப்ளீஸ் கேளுங்க.
மேம் நான் வந்து டீச்சர் இல்ல, ஐ எம் a therapist.
ஓகே,
நான் ஜஸ்ட் எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் ஷேர் பண்ணலாம்னு இருக்கேன்.
ஓகேமா, ஓகே.
ஃபேமிலியும் ஒரு 3 weeks back கோவிட் அஃபெக்ட் ஆச்சு. நான் வந்து I went to my mom's place. அங்க 3-4 days அப்புறமா my father had fever.
ஓகே.
ஃபர்ஸ்ட் எல்லாருமே இந்த கோவிட்னா ஒரு பயம்ன்ற ஒண்ணு ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்கா அந்த ஃபியர் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வந்துச்சு எல்லாருக்குமே. ஐயோ மேபி இது கோவிடா இருக்கலாமோ இல்ல நார்மல் ஃபீவரா இருக்கலாமோ, இந்த டவுட்ன்றது வந்து ஒரு பெரிய ஒரு டென்ஷன் கிரியேட் பண்ணும் ஃபேமிலில. தட் ஐ வாண்டட் டு ஷேர். ஸோ யாரும் பேனிக் ஆக வேணாம். திங்ஸ் இருக்கலாம், நம்ம நிறைய நெட்ல ப்ரௌஸ் பண்ணியிருப்போம், கூகுள் பண்ணியிருப்போம், நிறைய திங்ஸ் பக்கத்துல நைபர் வீட்டுல கேட்டிருக்கலாம், நியூஸ் விஷயங்கள் கேட்டிருக்கலாம். பட் இருந்தாலும் நம்ம ஃபேமிலியில ஒருத்தருக்கு யாருக்காவது வந்தாலும் கூட இருக்கிறவங்க தைரியமா இருக்கணும். ஸோ அவங்க கிட்ட தேவையில்லாத நெகட்டிவான விஷயங்கள் பேச வேணாம். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் I found it with my father because second on the third day my mother got positive. அதுக்கப்புறமா my brother had, then my sister had, then my daughter. அந்த ஃபேமிலி ஃபுல்லா அஃபெக்ட் ஆகும்போது ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஸ்டார்டிங் வந்து அந்த பர்சன் லைக் என்னாலதான் எங்க வீட்டுல எல்லாருக்கும் கோவிட் வந்துச்சு, I'm the person அப்படின்னு அந்த அவருக்கு இருந்துச்சு. I could realize that because he has totally ரொம்ப டவுன் ஆயிட்டாரு. நம்ம கீப் ஸ்டார்டிங் வீடியோ கால் பேசுவோம், ரூம்ல ஐசோலேட் பண்ணுவோம். நம்ம அந்த ஐசோலேஷன்ன்றது வந்து ரொம்ப ஒரு என்ன சொல்றது, ஒரு வீட்ல நம்ம தனித்தனியா ஐசோலேட் ஆகணும். சாதாரணமா ஒரு ஜுரம் வரும்போது நமக்கு ஒரு தண்ணி எடுத்து கொடுக்குறாங்க, பக்கத்துல கஞ்சி வச்சு கொடுக்குறாங்க, சூடு கொடுக்குறாங்க, எல்லாமே இருக்கு. பட் இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு டைம்ல நம்ம டோட்டலா மென்டலாவும் டவுனா இருக்கும், பிசிக்கலாவும் டவுனா இருக்கும். நமக்கு கூட இருக்கிறதுக்கோ யாராலும் முடியாது. ஸோ அந்த ஐசோலேஷனே ஒரு பர்சனை ஃபுல் பண்ணிடும் டவுனா. செகண்ட் விஷயம் வந்து என்னால ஃபேமிலி மொத்தம் அஃபெக்ட் ஆயிடுச்சு. என்ற அந்த ஒரு கில்ட் இருக்கும். மூணாவது வந்தவங்களுக்கு symptoms கம்மியா இருக்கலாம். So my father had a fever only for 1 day because he had taken the first dose. And but others were affected more. My brothers, they were like 20s and 30s, so they had not got vaccinated. So அவங்களுக்கு பாத்தீங்கன்னா symptoms ரொம்ப ஜாஸ்தி, and they had chest pain. So தினம் அந்த பயம் அந்த டென்ஷன் ஃபேமிலில ரொம்ப இருந்துச்சு. So every 3 hours saturation check பண்றது, fever monitor பண்றது, இவங்களுக்கு ஓகேவா இருக்கா, and அந்த ஒரு 1 week முடியறதுல பாத்தீங்கன்னா lot of symptoms, only 1% vomit, suddenly loose motion. So but thank God I was negative. I could எல்லாருக்குமே அந்த டென்ஷன் நான் பார்த்தேன். பட் ஒன்லி திங் சொன்ன மாதிரி நாங்க சோஷியல் மீடியா பார்க்கல, நியூஸ் எல்லாமே கட் டவுன் பண்ணிட்டோம். ஒன்லி பாசிட்டிவ் திங்ஸ், ரெக்கவர் ஆன ஃபேமிலிஸ் பத்தி பேசணும். என்னோட ஹஸ்பண்டோட நிறைய ஃபேமிலி இது மாதிரி என்டையர் ஃபேமிலி அஃபெக்டட், அவங்க ரிகவர் ஆகி வந்தாங்க. அந்த விஷயங்கள் பாசிட்டிவான விஷயங்கள் பேசணும். அண்ட் டே 2 or 3 லைக் we had எங்க ஃபேமிலிக்குள்ளே நாங்க பேசணும். அப்பா மேபி ஆன் தி 4th or 5th டே நாங்களும் பாசிட்டிவ் ஆகலாம். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் நீங்க ரெஸ்ட் எடுத்து உங்க ஹெல்த்தை நீங்க வெளியே வந்தானா நீங்க எங்களை டேக் கேர் பண்ண முடியும். ஸோ இட் இஸ் லைக் ஒரே நேரத்துல எல்லாரும் அஃபெக்ட் ஆகும்போது the person who got affected first அவங்க கொஞ்சம் வெளியில வந்ததுனால என்னால மற்றவங்களுக்கு சப்போர்ட் பண்ண முடிஞ்சுச்சு. அந்த செகண்ட் அதுவே இன்னும் டவுனா இருந்திருக்கும். வெளியில இருந்து நெய்பர்ஸோ இல்ல அதர் ஃபேமிலிஸ் நமக்கு சப்போர்ட் கொடுக்க முடியலன்னா கூட நமக்கு ரொம்ப க்ளோஸான ஒரு பர்சன் we can ask for some external help, maybe a moral support also. Daily call பண்ணி ஒரு கவுன்சிலிங் பண்ணலாம். கவுன்சிலிங் ஆல்சோ நல்லா இருக்குல்ல, ஒன்றும் இல்லை பிரச்சனை இல்லை, யூ ஆர் கமிங் அவுட், யூ ஆர் ரிகவரிங் அவுட் அப்படின்றது மாரல் இது எல்லாமே நான் எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் பண்ணேன் அந்த டைம்ல. அண்ட் கன்சல்டேஷன் டாக்டர் கிட்ட நாங்க பண்ணினோம். ஈவன் that was also a way of coming out, like doctor was telling so 1 week I will be out of that. All those things gave us a positive so I just wanted to share everyone and families recover ஆயும் வெளியில வந்திருக்காங்க. So 90% of the affected நல்லபடியா ரிகவரி ஆகி இன்னைக்கு நார்மலா வந்திருக்காங்க. எங்க ஃபேமிலி அது எல்லா ஏஜ் குரூப்ல எங்க ஃபேமிலி அஃபெக்ட் ஆயிருந்துச்சு. சின்ன குழந்தையிலேருந்து வயசானவங்க. என்னோட தாத்தா 95 years was also there in that house, but yeah, he's fine now. So we all recovered very well. We are all back to work. So பயப்பட தேவையில்லை, எல்லாருமே இதுல இருந்து வெளியில வரணும். எல்லாருக்கும் அந்த டென்ஷன் எல்லாமே எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் பண்ணணும். செட்டில் டவுன், we need to give that time. We have to be strong.
Yes. Thank you so much for sharing. That was beautiful because I think Nariya families they did this also, and some families failed doing this, but I think some families were very practical, like you said, they're like telling your father to be ready, asking him to recover well and in a healthy way, so he's there to help you all. Those are all very realistic steps that shows you've accepted the truth, you've recognized what it is, you're okay to face it. So I think that's wonderful. I think it's a great thing. I'm sure many of them took this also from you. So, and last thing I wanted to share was, the best thing is to, whatever you're grieving, you're bereaving, you're mourning, you're out of COVID, you're fearing COVID, whatever it is, good food, healthy food, happy thoughts, some sunshine. If you're lucky, if you can go out even to the balcony, some sunshine on you. These are the best medicines. Nature is the best doctor. You don't need a psychiatrist, you don't need a coach, counseling, nothing. You don't even need medicines. Some good food, some clean water, some happy thoughts. some sunshine, if you can do that, and some physical activities in any way possible, whatever you can do, and some good friends to talk and reach out. I think these are the best doctors that we're already blessed with. We don't need to look beyond that. And it's okay to be yourself, but don't isolate yourself. I'm not talking about COVID isolation, but if you're grieving someone, don't be alone for a long time. You will feel like going and sitting alone and crying. Do that for 2 minutes, come back, be with people, because there are, between anxiety and depression, it's a small line. I don't want you to fall from here to there easily, So, come out of it when you realize what it is. And the first step you're all doing is being here in the session. I'm so happy and I'm so thankful to Divya and Jayashree for addressing this, for giving me this opportunity to be here, and to you all to be here and share your experience and listen to me patiently, and also share some of your personal experiences here. It's wonderful. I think these are the things that will help us take ourselves forward. என்னதான் நடந்தாலும் சரி, நம்ம ஒருத்தருக்கு ஒருத்தர் கை கொடுத்து எப்படி எதனா ஒரு வழியில ஹெல்ப் பண்ணிக்கிட்டாதான் என்னால இது பண்ண முடியும். நீங்க இதை போய் பேரண்ட்ஸ்க்கு சொல்ல முடியும். இப்போ I didn't get the last speaker's name. I'm sorry because it's just written Spastic Society of Tamil Nadu, but she beautifully. Sorry, ma. I'm Nair. Okay, I didn't get the name. I think my network is also not good.
Sanam Nair.
Sanam Nair. Okay, Sanam. Okay, hi. Thank you, Sanam. That was very beautiful. So, among Sanamari families, I learned something from that as well. Families can be realistic. I think it cuts down on your anxiety and leads you move forward. You don't have to focus on COVID, but on the future. That's a beautiful thing. So, nanu nariya inga irundhu edutittirukken. So, just we are all in this together. Let's all travel together. யாருக்காவது ரொம்ப சிவியரா யூ நீட் சம் ஹெல்ப், ரொம்ப சீரியஸ் ஹெல்ப்னா the organizers have my number. Just refer their name, and because I don't take too many sessions, Divya knows it, so you can reach out to me anytime and I would be glad to help you. I think all of us, we are doing our bit, and this is my way of doing my bit to the society, right? So I leave it to Divya and Jayashree now, and it was a wonderful session. Thank you so much. I'll wait for them. So yeah, I can see Jayashree.
I think Divya will, thank you, Divya, first and foremost for having Vaishnavi come and reach out to us. Just one lasting thoughts that I had was, to all my teachers, one takeaway from what Vaishnavi shared was develop a support group, but it has to organically form. We cannot as a principal say you form a support group with this group or that group. எல்லா டீச்சர்ஸும் யார் அந்த கொலீஜியல் ரிலேஷன்ஷிப் யார் என்னெல்லாம் இருக்கோ, try and form a support group and share your happy stories and not so happy stories. அந்த support group உங்களுக்குள்ளேயே நேச்சுரலா ஆர்கானிக்கா வந்ததுன்னா இதுவும் கடந்து போறதுக்குள்ள ஒரு முயற்சி எடுக்கலாம். சொன்ன ஐடியாஸ் எல்லாமே நம்மளுக்கு தெரிஞ்சாலும் திருப்பி அதை உள் வாங்கி அதை நம்ம செயல்படுறதுதான் ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். நம்மளுக்கு எல்லாருக்குமே தெரியும், வெளியில போய் ஒரு 2 நிமிஷம் அந்த சூரியனை பாக்குறது பெரிய விஷயம். நம்ம எல்லாமே we can talk cognitively, going and seeing the sun will do that, and we know a lot of physiology, but that's not going out to the சூரியனை பார்த்து சூரிய நமஸ்காரம் மாதிரி ஏதாவது பண்ணா கூட it will help us. So I hope teachers fully and the support group vanda romba sandoshama irukum enakku. And thank you so much, Vaishnavi. I'll let it really appreciate. Divya,
Thank you, guys. Thank you for spending the afternoon with us.
Thank you, Divya. It was my pleasure, and I think I'm moved because these ladies, each of them have influenced me, and they have impacted me to some, to a greater extent actually, knowing what they are doing. It's such a small session we had. I would have loved a bigger one, but I think we all have time limitations, and I think I've taken also. There's a lot of takeaways for me also. Thank you so much. It's just a phase. We're all going to cross this. I think that's the word I wanted to say. It's just a phase. Just hold on. We'll all be there very soon. So yes.
Thank you, teachers, for joining us. I hope to welcome you back to Spastn
sometime very soon in person. We'll all meet in person very soon. Let's all hope. Thank you so much to everybody. Thank you.
thank you,
Thank you, ma.
Thank you, ma. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.